Hey, it's Ghost with Combat Sports Supply. Today we're going to be going over the G&G CM16 Raiders. So the CM16 Raiders are based on an M4A1 platform. Pretty much the universal entry-level gun. They're tanks, they run forever. A lot of fields around the country use these as rentals just because they are so resilient. Alright, so what comes in the box? Alright, so starting off, we've got our warranty for the US version of this, your manual, which is a QR code, unfortunately, your G&G poster that comes with every one of their guns, one of the highest high cap mags I know of, and the rifle. Now, they do sell a version of this that does come with the battery and charger. They're one of the few companies that still does that with their entry-level stuff. It's a barrel cap. These are really nice because a lot of fields will require you to have some form of barrel covering to carry it around the facility. So for starters, obviously there are two different lengths of these. The guns are identical other than barrel length. This is almost completely nylon reinforced polymer and aluminum. There's probably small bits of steel here and there, but not much. So starting at the back end, we have our standard crane stock. It does have the wing tabs to pop off the back plate to get to your battery well, and it is extendable. Moving forward from that, we do have our sling lug, which I'm actually glad they included. If you're not running a single point sling and you want to run a 2-point sling, it does have the webbing sling points in the back of the crane stock and underneath the front sight post. It does have a slightly modernized grip on it. It's very comfortable. The charging handle does pull. If you yank on it too hard, you are going to screw the spring up, but it does not open the dust cover door. It does have a standard rear sight block for an M4. It has your up, down, and left, right adjustments, and it is a flip sight. Now, for you lefties out there, it is only a single side selector, it is not ambidextrous. The dust cover on these, as I mentioned earlier, does not open with the charging handle. It's actually spring-loaded closed, if it wants to behave. You have to pull it open and then hold it open to adjust the hop-up. Now, I particularly like that feature because it does keep dirt and stuff from getting into the gearbox in your hop-up assembly. So I mentioned it has that big-ass mag earlier. This is a 450 round high cap, which is about 100 rounds more than most of the other ones I've seen. Now this does have a quad rail on it, which is pretty unusual anymore. Most companies have gone to the M-lock, so I'm glad they still kept the full quad rail on it. So it does have the front A-post sight. It is integral to the barrel though. It also has a bayonet lug on it, and your flash hider is glued and pinned on. And let's get into the Airsoft specs. So there are two versions of the rifle as you noticed earlier. There's the long barrel, short barrel. The short barrel is going to shoot about 340 FPS, and if you get the high velocity US version of the long barrel, it's going to shoot about 370 FPS. The reason they do this down at 340 FPS is that way when you put a tight bore in these, because they don't come with one, you'll still more than likely be under field limits at about 350, 360 FPS. So when I say the high velocity version, you see how the short one only has this one tag on it. The high velocity is going to have this on it. This one, when you put a tight bore in it, because it also does not come with one, will still keep you under 400 FPS, which is your outdoor limits for most fields. So besides the outside of this being tough, I mean, it's essentially the same stuff that Yeti coolers are made of. The gearbox is your standard G&G high quality stuff, but they last a very long time as long as you don't abuse them. I actually know a couple of guys that I've played with for a very long time that have had one of these for at least a decade and they still run just fine. So final thoughts on this thing, I mean, I wish I'd started out with one of these. I probably would have had a lot better time than the garbage I was buying. But I eventually got one similar to this, and it served me incredibly well, and I still have it. All that rambling is to say, if you're looking to get into Airsoft for not too expensive, but not also get some of the garbage that's out there, or you're looking to get a loaner gun to hand out to your buddies that you don't have to worry about them destroying, you really cannot go wrong with these.
Don't be a fool!